I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, he is. He's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out.
He's steaming mad.
He is out.
Swung. Fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! Yes! The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship.
Auburn going after it. Here's a good snap. It is blocked. It is blocked. It's followed a run. It's followed a run. He's going to score. David Wagner. David Wagner has scored. And Auburn is tied the game.
It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! Van Tiffin has won the ball game. Alabama has beaten Auburn.
I'd like for the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
Welcome in once again to the Total Chat Sports Podcast. This is number 53 so far, 53. Honestly surprised we made it this far. I'm sure that you've been listening and watching and doing all this stuff throughout the year and a half, and really just I think it's been about a year and a half now, or at least half a year that we've been starting the Total Chat Sports Podcast. So I'm really excited to get on board and do more. We're getting really close to the NFL season, the regular season, and I'm really excited for that. Going to break down a lot of, like I've done in the past. Now, this first initial video may not have a whole lot of bells and whistles and everything like that. I don't have any graphics set up right now, but I kind of wanted to just kind of break down everything that's going around the NFL season. You're also 22 days away from Alabama and Auburn football. You got... and I'm sure there's a couple of games the day before or that week or whatever. So we're not too far from college football. So we're absolutely excited about that as well. We're not too happy about the Atlanta Braves right now, but we'll talk about that later. I don't think this is going to be mostly about that. I don't think we're going to talk mostly about the Atlanta Braves this time because they just suck right now. I can't get it right. But you can get it right by following this podcast and going to @CoachGrizzle. Anywhere you want, Twitter, Twitch, X. I said Twitter, so I guess that's X, right? YouTubes. You got the TikToks. You got all those places social media-wise. Instagram, straight flexing. Whatever you want, you have got all of that there. Just go there. Check it out @CoachGrizzle or @CoachGrizzleTV. You can also find me on YouTube. Just type in Total Chad Sports Podcast, and it has been enough that you can actually find it right away. So the first two are on there that I've made on the video side, which has been really nice. It doesn't take much when you use a free service. You know what I mean? It looks great. Everything looks great on my end. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm happy. So, like, everything that looks good on my stream is because I've put it together and I have made this to where I'm trying to get it to where you enjoy it even more. Because I want to bring more content to the page. I want to bring, more breakdowns, everything like that. I've got the Falcons regular season schedule, which if you've listened to the podcast or watched the podcast, over the last couple years now, I've been trying to break down, each individual division right before the start of the season and give you my predictions on where they'll finish and will they make the playoffs or not. Because, at the end of the day, it's hypothetical. We all have an opinion. I'm not the greatest at talking about everything. I'm very, I'm very adamant and very passionate about talking about the specific teams that I like. So I want to kind of stay in that market and stay in the realm of where I'm really good at talking about those types of things. But I will branch out. And like I said in the last podcast, if you want anything, you want to talk about anything, you want to talk about the UFCs of the world, Kuda, you want to talk about the Patriots head of steel, you want to talk about, I don't know, anything. You want to talk about literally watching in the Olympics field hockey, where the Netherlands literally, men and women, swept the gold. Absolutely crazy PK, by the way. And I'll get into that. I think I need to get into that in another podcast for sure. I'm holding onto my microphone again, so that's why you see me holding onto it again. I'm still waiting on my arm. I didn't realize that I guess I used an old credit card or something that was still on my setup. So I thought I bought it, but I didn't buy it. So I think something happened. It told me I needed to like reset the whole payment process or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I think it said I didn't have enough money. It's probably because I don't have a job. Anyway, long story short, basically, you know, we're just excited for the football season, and I'm ready to break it down. And like I said before I get crazy about it, I mean, how about the Olympics? I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. I think it's just been one of the really good event in Paris, except for like, you know, the opening ceremonies, as most people didn't like. And, you know, a lot of controversy that's going on throughout the thing. But you see a lot of greatness, you know. Katie Ledecky, Simone Biles. I mean, just Noah Lyles being able to run with COVID. Also, by the way, I kind of want to talk about that too. How are we allowed, because it's ramping up again apparently, allegedly. How are we allowing professional athletes to play with COVID as long as they're wearing a mask beforehand, but yet it's okay to be in a stadium full of people with a mask and we couldn't do, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave that to the scientists and the doctors of this world and all that crazy jazz, because I apparently don't know anything about that kind of stuff, and I couldn't tell you to be honest with you. So I think it was crazy that he ended up getting bronze, you know, basically with having COVID, because I can't even run down the damn street, you know, with a cold. So, I mean, and let alone COVID. I have had COVID twice now. My back started hurting. It felt like the world and gravity was just pulling you down. Could you imagine trying to run as fast as you can with gravity just pushing you constantly down into the core? You know what I mean? It just feels like you're getting hit with like a bunch of sandbags in your back of your back. That's what mine felt like. I know it hasn't happened. I know some people might have other symptoms and everything like that, but I mean, it's crazy. And I think it's just absolutely insane that, you know, a lot of times we deal with that kind of stuff, and it's just scary that a lot of these athletes are allowed to continue to like play and do all these types of things, and you're like, what the hell? Like, literally, he's sick. You get him away from these people, you know what I mean? And he didn't run in the 400 by 1 or whatever it was, the relay or whatever, because, you know, he was sick. So I just think that like sometimes this Paris Olympics has been a little like iffy, a little wishy-washy sometimes, because it's like they seem to like care about the athletes, but they seem to not care about the athletes. And it's just like, it's weird. It's just kind of weird how that whole situation has been going on. But it's been very fascinating. And I just love seeing on social media all these people just constantly going after, like trying to do the whole per capita thing, because, you know, China and America both have 33 golds right now as I'm speaking. And the U.S. has 111 total medals. They have 33 gold, 39 silver, and 39 bronze. And so, like, when you're sitting here talking about this kind of stuff and you're looking at this stuff, and I'll show it to you because I'm on ESPN, and I'll show it to you right here, right above here. They have 111. China's got 82. And Great Britain, who is a smaller country, obviously an island country, but they've got all the little, you know, provinces and everything like that. I'm sure that, like, they're still able to get athletes to come out and do stuff. I get it. Some people have small little islands they're from. Some have small little countries they're from. Not a lot of people in the world and stuff like that. There's a reason why people move to America. There's a reason why people love being in the USA. Everyone always wants to crap on the USA, especially right now. But go to another country and tell me how much better you get it. Because you have the opportunity to play in any sport you would like. You have the opportunity to do anything in the world that you would like. And you could win a gold medal. You could win a silver medal. Or you could win a bronze. I don't have to hear all these complaints about, oh, well, like, Barbados or Jamaica, they don't have a ton of people, so we can't, like, per capita, we got to see how these people from Botswana or like, some other little, tiny country that people are like, oh, yeah, you know, well, we should really look into that. That's a lot cooler, but, you know, because it's, like, one out of, like, a smaller population. No, are you kidding me? You're the best in the USA, and there's other people in this world that live in other countries that are United States citizens and play for USA. Look at Joel Embiid. This man is about to flip-flop, possibly, and go back to Cameroon and play for Cameroon after possibly the USA basketball team wins gold. The women won today, of course, 85-64 against Australia. That's straight flexing. They're going to, like, Sue Bird's going to win, like, her 8th gold medal or whatever because she's, like, 57 years old, and she won't quit basketball because she wants to be the top. She wants to be, like, the best of the best And she still wants to crap all over Caitlin Clark because she's like, I'm going to win, you're not. But I just think it's hilarious that we sit here and watch it, and it's like the U.S. women's soccer team and the U.S. women's basketball team. A lot of these other countries do not allow their women to play these sports, or just do not play these sports at all, and have not gotten to the same level as you. The 3-on-3 like basketball teams had more like WNBA players. It felt like, I don't know enough about who the USA is playing in the basketball tournament 5-on-5, but I know that it's like you've got 60 to 70 NBA players now in this Redeem Team 2 or whatever, or this like better. First of all, this USA basketball team is not better than the Dream Team, and it is not better than the Redeem Team, because the Redeem Team had some of these players on there and Kobe. So calm down, first of all. This team is very talented, sure, very talented, sure. But it is not the same type of basketball. It is not, I get it, the Dream Team played like 12 dudes that were in the NBA. But that's what I feel like is going on right now in this USA women's basketball team, is that they're just playing a bunch of like nobodies. They're playing a bunch of people that like, they're just happy to be there. You know what I mean? They're smiling after they lose, all that kind of stuff. USA's trying to like be all dominant. I'm not rooting against them by any means, but I just think it's silly. It's like you're flexing on somebody, like you're playing chess and they're playing checkers. You know what I mean? It's like you're straight flexing on people. And I think it's just silly. So when we look at the athletes, of course, I don't know any of these people. I think these were the swimmers, Smith and Husky. I think these were swimmers, or maybe these were runners. I don't remember. But I mean, it's like individual medals. Yeah, like we get it. Like you're not gonna have a ton of like great medals, outside of the U.S. because you've got so many other competitors. You know what I mean? I mean, you've got so many great athletes in the United States, and I think it's just silly to kind of like crap on them because, oh, we have a bigger country than everybody else. Well, move here and become American. The guy that won the pole vaulting thing, Mondo, he's an LSU fan. He went to LSU games. He compared the Paris crowd to an LSU game. That is asinine and stupid. But that guy, he's half American, half Swedish, and what did he do? He went to go do his own thing, and he went to Sweden, and he took gold for Sweden. He didn't take gold for the USA. He took gold for Sweden. So shut your mouth. There's plenty of people out there that can go on and do other things, and if you're really good at a sport, it shouldn't matter what country you're from. Like, who cares? Like, yeah, we have more athletes, whatever. Okay, then get a better opportunity then. I mean, I think it's hilarious that people like sit seriously and do that, and I think it's just, you know, I think we just need to chill out a little bit. I think we need to chill out when yes, it's a great thing. I'm not rooting against the Team USA or anything like that. But I think it's a great thing that they're doing. But don't sit here and sugarcoat it and say, oh, yeah, let's do all this for blah, 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 blah. Like, come on. Welcome to the channel. James Buchanan per capita is stupid, especially when the majority of athletes in other countries are training in the U.S. and going to U.S. universities. Great point. Exactly. I mean, there's, like, how many of the pole vaulters, how many of the runners, like some of the runners, you know, especially in the U.S., they're going to be out west, or they're going to be like some great running school, or Arkansas is a great running school. I think Florida is a really good running school. So you do have like, and Alabama used to be pretty good at cross country. So like you do have countries like, or you do have universities that are really good at it. So like people will come over here for. I went to a local university, and like half of the soccer team was from Europe. You know what I mean? And they weren't any good though. They weren't like I would have expected maybe you would have grabbed a couple guys locally, but like most of the team was like from out of the country, and they weren't even any good. And it's like a sport that you kind of expect other countries to be good at, and you kind of don't expect like a lot of the American players to be very good, because I've seen a lot of American soccer. It's not fun. I watch soccer, okay? MLS is not fun. MLS Next Pro, the guys are almost there, but I mean, like, these guys aren't gonna, I mean, unless they're like Messi or there's some kind of like freak talented athlete, they're not gonna go somewhere else. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be looking for a guy who's trying to make his way through the MLS Next Pro to go to the MLS to go to like the English Premier League, unless there was like some random loan. He's on like one of the bottom teams. They need an extra player. He might be from that country, Because that's what I hated about soccer a lot of times is like in soccer, especially like I think it was in Italy and some other countries where, you know, like Spanish soccer, La Liga, and, you know, when you're doing Serie A and Bundesliga and stuff like that, you would have like your half of your team had to be German because you're a German team. You can't have like, you know what I mean? Like you couldn't have 11 Brazilian, Spanish, you couldn't have like all these different nationalities and then have like 6 German guys on your team. You know what I mean? It had to have been kind of an equal team, and where it's like half and half, and you split it up that way. And so that's where I'm kind of like, yeah, like you can go to college and you can do all these things in America, and you can go perform for your country. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that. But don't sit here and tell me per capita is like where it's all about and what it's all about and all that kind of stuff. And it's like a bigger deal. I mean, there's more NFL players, and I think it was like Alabama per capita or whatever in the NFL than some other states that you wouldn't be surprised. And it's like, well, yeah, because I mean, like it's kind of, yeah, per capita, because I mean, there's like 4 million people here total. There's 4 million people in New York alone, New York City alone. So I mean, I just think people are just getting a little crazy about it. You know what I mean? It's just silly because I love it. I do love the running. I do love the swimming. I mean, field hockey was absolutely crazy. Gymnastics with Simone Biles and the crew. Suni Lee from Auburn. She does a great job too. I think she's badass as hell. I mean, she's a huge. I mean, Suni Lee. She's American, but America goes to Auburn, does things for Auburn, and she's probably the best one on Auburn's team. So, I mean, it's like, whatever. You're the best of the best. So, I don't know. I think we're getting a little crazy about it. I think the Olympics has been wild, too. Waiting for a lot of these rest of these finals. Water polo is one of my favorite sports, too, by the way. When you can drown somebody. Not drown somebody. Sorry. Apologies. I'm not saying you should drown somebody. When you have the opportunity to possibly drown somebody. There we go. That's better. That sport is very, very fun to watch because, like, people are rough in that game. People are very rough in that game, and that is wild to me. That is absolutely wild to me. And I know you, too, it's a hailstorm. I know you've been watching all the things that's been going on in the Olympics, sure, because you're a big sports fan, too. I know she has been. I know she's been watching sports. She's been probably watching the breakdancing. That's the thing. Who is watching breakdancing? Are you watching breakdancing? Because breakdancing is hilarious. You seen the girl from Australia? Oh, let me show it to you. I had it up right here. Hold on. Look at this. This is not dancing. You hear me? This is not dancing. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this girl. Give her props. That is a child having a tantrum. That is a child right there. That is a lot of the majority of 20-year-olds right now who cannot find a job, who are crazy, need a safe space, and when they don't get their way, there it is. My goodness. There was a lot worse. She did one where she was like running around on her head. Hey, look, that's me. That's me. Anyway, there was one where she was like one on her head. Looks like a wrestling warm-up, right? You know they used to do, like, I used to wrestle. And we used to do this thing where, like, you would stretch your neck and, like, stuff like that. And that's what we would do, like, to stretch, like, to get a little bit of stretch on your neck. And that was the thing. I'm not going to do it because I'm on video. But, because that'd be my head down, ass up. It's like practicing diving on dry land. I know. Like, and we don't have softball. We don't have baseball. What are the other ones? We don't have, like, some, like, compound, I think it was, like, some kind of, like, archery that we didn't have. There was a couple other sports we don't have. Like, competitive power walking, Olympic power walking, to me, is more of a sport than breakdancing. The girls that go and do the water aerobics thing, that is more of a sport. Yes, artistic swimming is more of a sport. Are we good at artistic swimming? I thought, like, China and Russia were really good. That's the thing about Olympics, though, this year. Like, you don't have Russia there. So I really think that, like, yeah, it's great that the gymnastics team did what they did, but I feel like they would have had to run for their money if if Russia wasn't cheating. Again. But like artistic swimming, like Russia's really good at it. I think China's really good at it too. So like that in my opinion is like that is a sport. Obviously that is a sport. The amount of power, yeah, it's a dumb sport. The amount of power walkers breaking the main rule of power walking and get away with it is just like, take the sport out. No, you're right, because you see them and it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, do you like jerk your hips a certain way? Like, do you move your arms too fast? Like, how do you, like, I don't know how you do that. You know what I mean? Like, I could probably power walk if I could shake my booty a little bit more. You know what I mean? Probably give me a little bit more, oomph when I'm going. We got silver and artistic swimming. Not bad. Who got gold? Was it China? Because they were pretty good. Pretty good, aren't we? Usually like top 5. Yeah, I do. I actually do, yes. My goodness. Pulling out a friggin' Malcolm in the Middle. I need to go back and watch all that again. I think they have it on Netflix. You have to keep a foot on the ground at all time, I think. What? Power walking? Yeah. No, I think it's like one of the craziest sports ever. Like when you see the people walking, they look like they're grooving. You know what I mean? And I see this woman on a moped all the time, and she like will stop and like she'll feel herself and like start dancing and stuff. She ain't got no music playing. I don't know if she's got earbuds in or not, but I don't think she's got music playing. She does like the same old dances all the time. It reminds me of that. It's like she's like getting into it, like power walking, like get into it. And they look like they're running, but they're not. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Freaking power walking, man. It's called yogging. It's like a jogging with a soft J. I think it's jogging with a soft J. I don't know. But I'm sorry. Some of these, like, eventually we're just going to have video games. That's going to be an Olympic sport. I mean, why isn't chess an Olympic sport? Like, isn't that a very, like, when you watch chess and you watch two people play, I think that's very intense that, like, people would want to watch that kind of stuff. Is it in there? Is it? Or is it going to be in 2028? Because I also heard that, I saw this on Twitter, that Jake Paul is going to try to qualify and try to make the 2028 Olympics. And he said he's going to win gold. Well, I didn't know that professional fighters, quote, professional fighters, could do that. Because I thought it was like mostly like amateur boxing. I mean, I guess, because Jake Paul hadn't fought a real boxer ever once. He fought a gamer and a bunch of old MMA dudes, and he's bigger than. And you can't take steroids in the Olympics. So good luck with that. So that dude is going to be absolutely getting his ass kicked. I know, Pizza Planet, right? Where'd you get it at? Walmart? Walmart special? $7? I had to wear it. I should wear more of these shirts on stream. Guys, $7. $7, Pizza Planet, Walmart. I think one of my friends got it for me for my birthday or something. I don't remember buying it. Yeah, I think this was a gift. Pretty sure this was a gift. I love this shirt. This shirt's awesome. Are you kidding me? Like, this is one of the best shirts, like, I have. Like, when it comes to, because I got, like, Mortal Kombat and Jurassic Park and everything like that. But when I saw, I think I bought this. This may not have been a gift. I can't remember now. Because I remember I saw it and I thought it was badass. I thought it was a pretty badass shirt. I wear it with orange leggings as my travel outfit. It does look like you could wear it for Halloween or something like that, you know. For sure. You can wear it in the Halloween colors. Speaking of Halloween, I know this is just a stream, nobody wants to know, but that is actually someone's birthday in this chat is Halloween. Yes, I do remember, because I'm a good friend. So, enough about my rants about the Olympics. It's been absolutely fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, like I've been enjoying the heck out of it. But we're getting on to some preseason football. Now, Patriots beat the Panthers last night, 17-3. Everyone got to see Joe Milton. Everyone went friggin' crazy for Joe Milton, too. Does nobody remember Joe Milton from Tennessee? He threw one touchdown pass, acted a fool, and then got stomped by Alabama. And then hasn't been the same quarterback. Like, really, the fact that anyone thinks that Joe Milton is going to turn out to be like this great quarterback in the NFL, I'll be on this hill. I'll fight on this hill to this day. And I'm sorry, head of steel. You probably need to go somewhere else. Because, I mean, you got Bailey Zappi. And I think, didn't they get, what's his name, Drake May? So, like, obviously, I don't know. Like, maybe. But, I mean, I have seen enough Joe Milton. He couldn't do it at Michigan. He couldn't do it at Tennessee. He had to wait another year because Hendon Hooker was better than him. And, you know, I just watched a little bit of last night's game between the Lions and the Giants. And, you know, Hendon Hooker, you know, he didn't have to do much, but, you know, he's in the NFL. He's gonna be an NFL quarterback. I'm not saying he's not an NFL quarterback. You can be an NFL quarterback and not be like this great franchise player. I mean, I keep talking about it. Brock Osweiler was supposed to be the next guy up after Peyton Manning. They were grooming him just like all the other teams try to do with like Jordan Love. Jordan Love just got paid a shitload of money. Okay, Brock Osweiler got paid $40 million because he sat behind a great quarterback, never learned anything, never apparently learned how to be a quarterback, a better quarterback, got a freaking Super Bowl ring, got paid $40 million, and retired at 30. So, yeah, but I think like Zappi or Brissett, I think they'll keep Brissett. I think they might keep Jacoby, but because they love him and they've had him on the thing before. But I think they might have to get rid of it. Like, Zappi might be the camp arm. You know what I mean? Because I don't think they're going to draft Drake May. Or if anything, no, that's wrong. Joe Milton might be the camp arm, to be honest with you. He is younger, but I feel like they're going to have, like, it'll be Zappi, Brissett, and Drake May. If Joe Milton can play better than Drake May, which shouldn't happen because you wouldn't draft two quarterbacks or you wouldn't have Drake May there. So, I don't know. I think some people might want to, like, you know, hold the brakes a little bit on the Joe Milton. Like, I get it. He's got a freaking cannon. Don't get me wrong. He's always had a freaking cannon. But it just kind of makes it weird that I just saw something on the internet too. Apparently, like, he only played I didn't watch the Patriots game, but apparently he only played like one series. So I don't understand this whole situation. I never was a Drake May fan, so I'll never understand the whole thing behind that. So, oh yes, you give me football stuff. I'm in 2 fantasy football years and I don't know who to draft. Yeah, just let me know. If you're in like a draft where you keep players from the year before, or like if it's brand new and it's like a snake draft or however they draft or whatever, just let me know because we're about to do one too. And I'll give you some advice. You want some advice right now? I mean, right now I have Jamar Chase as one of my wide receivers I'm keeping. I messed up last year. I kept Jamar Chase and Jonathan Taylor over the break or whatever, and then, you know, Jonathan Taylor got hurt. So I had like Jonathan Taylor on my roster for 6 months, but I also drafted what I felt like I drafted better. Now, next year, I'm going to probably keep Jamar Chase and Jordan Love because I'll have a young quarterback that got paid and he's really doing better. I mean, ever since that Falcons game I went to at the beginning of the season where he fumbled the ball, they just looked really bad and they still almost won the game. You know, he got much better throughout the season. And I feel like this is like the Packers doing Packers things. You know, they had Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, all waited. You know, well, Brett Favre probably didn't really wait. But Aaron Rodgers waited. Jordan Love's going to wait the same way. I wasn't big on Jordan Love, don't get me wrong, coming into the thing. But I do love Jordan Love more than I love Trey Lance. You see what I'm saying? I felt like Jordan Love was worth the hype, but Trey Lance was not. And I think that what Jordan Love is doing is obviously like, yeah, he's the guy. Like, the Packers got their guy. And I feel like that if I keep him on my fantasy team, it can be really good. What I would say is running backs are not a dime a dozen. So try to get, like, when you draft, Haley, depending on where you're at, you want to get best available right off the bat, very first pick. Your very first pick is you want to get the best available player. Now, if the best available player is a quarterback, I would say no. I would say go after the second best running back, the second best wide receiver that you could get. like get the guys that they haven't drafted yet, that are still good, that are still out there. Because the problem is in fantasy a lot of times is people don't understand this. If you don't have quality running backs that catch the ball out of the backfield, you don't have quality wide receivers that get a lot of passes, a lot of touches, like you're not going to do well because unless you have Patrick Mahomes, once you have like Lamar Jackson, if you have like a quarterback that can score a lot of points, whether it's running, throwing, or whatever, like that's the reason why. Like Jordan Love to me would be a great pick because he can run and throw and everything like that, and he's athletic, he's young. You could, if you have a keeper league, you could keep him for like 5 or 6 more years before you want to get rid of him because you never know how well he could be playing for the next 5 or 6 years. I mean, I had one year I had Tom Brady and Andrew Luck, and it was like every weekend one guy would suck and the other guy would throw up a 25 bomb, and that's the thing. Do not go after a player that you think that you like. Just go with your gut, honestly. In my opinion, go with your gut. Because, especially when you're setting your roster. Because if you contradict yourself or you question yourself and you second guess yourself, stuff like that, if you do that, you're going to put in a player and that player might freaking go off. Who knows? But that player almost might get you 1 or 2. Okay? I mean, there was one year I could have won the whole thing, and I took out a wide receiver and put in another wide receiver, and I had 3 running backs on the roster, one of the flex guys or whatever. They literally the week before, because I didn't play them, they put up 18, 17 points, something like that. And then the very next week they give you 4. And you lose by 15 points because that's your star player. You expect him to score a lot of points, and he doesn't. And, that's just the rut that you get in. And I would say this. Whichever fantasy league that you have money in, or whichever one that you feel like that you're going to win, pay attention to that one. Don't even worry about the other one. Just set your roster in the other one so you don't let anyone get, the other one is just don't, because I'll have, multiple ones, don't get me wrong. But I play this one with my friends since high school. There's money involved. And it's that's what I hate is if you're going to lose, you're one of the worst teams, at least try, set your roster, make sure that your guys are playing, if you're going to be in it, don't go away from it. You're invested in it. You're putting money in it. You're playing it. So don't go away from what you think, if you're going to win, go after that roster. The other one, just set your roster, just be at least competent enough to set your roster, because the thing is, it's there could be a guy that could need to win against you to make the playoffs, and I would rather him barely beat you than just go in there and one of your running backs is out, one of your wide receivers is on a bye, you've got 7 out of the 9 people in your lineup, and I just think that you gotta at least handle that a little bit better. You gotta make sure that you've got the right, but that's the thing. Like he said, like James is saying in the chat, don't overthink. Just don't overthink, because you're gonna contradict yourself. You're gonna second guess everything that you're doing. You're gonna be like, well, this guy might be really good, or this guy's playing so and so. And look at the matchups. Don't believe a lot of times the percentages, when they say when you look at it next to whoever they're playing. Because, that team is really good against wide receivers, or that team is really good against running backs. But you have to understand that, there's times where you could be, against the second-best team, whatever, a team gets blown out, and then a running back gets a touchdown randomly because they scored in the last, 10 minutes of the game. Or, a quarterback throws 2 more touchdowns because he's down by 5. You know what I mean? There's that situation where you could have still a quality. That's the thing about it. It's not so much, I guess it's really, it is about quality, but it is about quantity too. So like I said, if you don't have 3 or if you don't have 4 running backs and 4 wide receivers on your roster, where you can at least plug and play one of those 2 people at a certain position and then maybe one in a flex, if you're doing it that way, then there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to have to put the damn running back in a flex. And you might have a wide receiver that, he's got 9 points, or he's got projected 9 points for the weekend or whatever, right? And let's say your running back's projected 11. So you take the projection for what it is, and you put the guy that has 11, and the running back has 2 carries for 34 yards at the end of the game. You know what I mean? And that's 3 points for a running back. That's nothing. Yeah, that's like the first, okay, I'll say this. The first, like, 3 or 4 rounds, yes. But you gotta branch out and, like, figure out who could be, like, a big player. Who, like, some of these, like, you don't know about these. There's so many great rookies, too. There's so many great rookie wide receivers, Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors. You know what I mean? There could be Marvin Harrison. I mean, there's a situation where you could get, like, a really good rookie, and especially in keeper leagues. That's another thing. Dynasty leagues, keeper leagues, anything like that. You definitely want to go after one of those young wide receivers, but, like, go after a young running back, like Jace McClellan or something like that. You know what I mean? Now, he is a third-string running back for the Atlanta Falcons, but if you look at the history, like Tyler Algier last year got injured a little bit, but he did have 1,000 yards the year before. You have B.J. Robinson. I mean, you've got, I said B.J. Bijan Robinson as well. So they have, like, 3 running backs, in my opinion. Like, Jace McClellan was a great college running back. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like he's going to be that third guy. So, like, let's say someone gets Bijan. Now your decision is, am I going to take Tyler Algier or am I going to take Jace McClellan? Because you never know if, like, let's say Tyler Algier gets hurt. Then you might want to take Jace McClellan as a backup. You know what I mean? There's always that situation later on in the draft, too, that don't worry about having the same player at this, like, the same team, same position. Because later on in the season, they might take Tyler Algier out to, maybe they make the playoffs, and maybe you might need to play Jace McClellan later in the season. But sometimes, like, a lot of these third-string running backs will be there anyway. But the rookies, I feel like people buy into the rookies. Hi, Ladybird. There's Ladybird. A lot of these people, they pay too much attention to the starters and the backups. And a lot of people need to, like, dive a little bit more deeper into who's a backup, who could take over later in the season. It may not necessarily be your drafting person, but it could be your very last person. And I will say this. Unless you're going to get a really, really, really good quarterback, please wait until, like, the 7th or 8th or 9th round. Because you want to stock up on the best wide receivers. You want to stock up on the best running backs. You want to try to get a quality tight end. Like, my buddy had Sam Laporta last year. Who the hell thought Sam Laporta was going to be this amazing tight end? He might suck his second year. TJ Hawkinson, I had him his first year as a rookie. The thing is you take rookie tight ends, but you don't take second-year tight ends. Because second-year tight ends, apparently, they get caught. Unless you get, like, Travis Kelce, Kittle, you get, whoever else. Like, there's that situation. Sure, true. But focus on the quality players and the quantity enough of having those types of players before you start going like, oh, well, I probably should get, don't, unless you can get Patrick Mahomes in the first round, don't go after him. Unless you can get, Josh Allen in the first round. I probably wouldn't get him in the first round. You probably could get him later because people might not draft him, or that high. But, you just have to know, like, that. Last year I ended up with Cooper Kupp and Keenan Allen, who both got me a shit ton of points. Well, yeah, Keenan Allen, that's the thing about Keenan Allen. I feel like Keenan Allen is still, like, he's like 30 years old, right? Like, he's 30. I think he's 30. 32. He was 31 last year. Keenan Allen, I think is... I don't know if, like, I would draft him this year. Because of Caleb Williams. And I'm not one of those haters because he has a purse and paints his nails and all that other stuff. Whatever. I just think that Keenan Allen's 32 years old. It's getting a little over the hill for wide receivers. I think Ridley is 29. So if, like, you wanted a guy that, if he could do really well with Will Levis in Tennessee, you could go for Calvin Ridley. He's a little bit younger. Cooper Kupp is still a great pick. Always remember that you have Puka Nacua as well on that team. and Matt Stafford seemed to like really like Puka. So Cooper is a great wide receiver. If it's a keeper league, if it's a keeper league, I would have kept Cooper. I would have got rid of everybody else, unless you had a good quarterback. But like all the other situations, like yeah, like always remember that sometimes these really good wide receivers that you draft will have a freaking, they'll have like a really good backup too, or a backup that'll get points. Like that's the thing about fantasy. Stop looking at like the really good players are the really good players. Like you're gonna know who they are, but you're gonna have to find some worth. You're gonna have to find some gold when you're doing it. So that's the thing about me. It's like you're gonna have to kind of like, that's how you're gonna have to handle it a little bit. So not keeper, I guess. We're draft. Yeah. Because I play in a keeper league. We wanted to do a keeper league. Stuff like that. There's a dynasty league we were playing in for a while where you could keep like your whole team. And if you got rid of like one player, you literally only had like if you got like, let's say you got rid of 2 players from last year or from the year before, you can only draft like 2 players, but you have to wait till like the 17th pick, or I mean not 17th pick, the 7th round or whatever, the 8th round or whatever, because you have all these players. So like you have to wait for everybody else who might have gotten rid of half of their roster. And that's the thing about dynasty leagues is people that got rid of like half their roster are obviously have a less of a waiting time than you do because you only give up 2 people. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not because like, oh hey, I'm the 3rd pick. No, you're not. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you play sleeper fantasy league, and you're like the 3rd person on the list, you're gonna get booted to the back because it'll say you're like 3rd in the draft, but you'll get skipped and you'll go all the way to the back, and it'll be like the 7th or 8th round, and then you pick 3rd, or then you pick like 3rd to last. Because if it's a snake draft, that's the thing about snake drafts too, Haley, is it's good to be like in the top 4 or 5, and then it's really good to be the last guy sometimes, because if you're the last guy, you can draft in the very last first round, but then you get a pick in the 2nd round, the very first pick in the 2nd round. So like you have a chance to get at least a quality guy, especially if you have 10, 12, or whatever, however many you play with. I like to play with 10. A lot of people bitch and complain you rather play 12 or 14 because it's a little harder and all this other shit. Like, I hate that crap. I like good scores. I like high scoring and all that stuff. So, yeah, and you can also like if you feel like you're not comfortable about picking, you can also auto pick. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, Haley. Do one of your drafts. Do one draft legitimate and do one auto pick and see how much better you do. I had a buddy do that twice. He auto-drafted, and he won. So, I mean, there's a possibility of that too. I mean, like, that's the thing about fantasy is, like, don't let it consume you, because it'll just piss you off. Yeah, that auto-draft one, well, it was crazy. Like, one guy auto-drafted, and he had 3 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So, like, it will do that. It will get the best player. Oh, yeah, of course. But, I mean, like, if you do it and you're like, you think like one week, like your team's going to play really well and you could be projected way more, don't buy into projections. Don't buy into, a lot of the times the matchups are what you want to look at, but don't buy into the projections. You just have to know on a week, like watch enough football or if you know that like your team is going to play somebody next week or whatever, just watch how they play against another team. Or home and away helps too. Like, if it's at home or away, that's also a factor, for sure. I know a lot of times I'm kind of like that, where it's like I kind of hope that, because the thing is you never know, they could be playing. I'm gonna add the chat to the screen. I don't know if anybody can read it, but I'm gonna add the chat to the screen since y'all were here, and. So, like, the thing is about that is you could play, let's say you play a wide receiver that's really good, and he's playing in Chicago, and they don't have their indoor stadium yet, and it's outside, and it's cold, and it's rainy, or it's windy, or anything like that, and, boom, like, your wide receiver could have 2 catches for 54 yards. No wide receiver. If you draft a wide receiver and he does not score more than 10 points, that is a dud, in my personal opinion. If you have a running back that scores no more than 5 points, that is a dud. Because there's no reason for a starting running back to have like 12 carries or to have like hardly any catches out of the backfield. I get it. This isn't Madden. This isn't NCAA. Whatever. But there's no reason for these players to not have the points in fantasy because, like, they should be getting the ball more. You know what I mean? Or, like, the coach is just screwing it up, basically. I checked the weather, too, so I know if it's raining in outside stadium, probably want my flex to be running back, not right. Yeah, that and, like, if you have, like, a really good tight end, like, because you know that they're going to try to give him the ball on short downs. And the tight end is a little bit more, a lot of days, the tight end is a little bit more secure than trying to throw it to a slot receiver or just a receiver in general trying to cross the field or trying to like run down the field and trying to throw the ball. Like, it's a lot easier to throw it a drag to the tight end because he's so close to the line. Or, like, you know, they might have him on a stop route and he's only 5 yards down the field, but he's such a big enough guy that, like, you know, like Travis Kelce, Kittle, those of the world, like, you know that those types of players are going to get the ball. But that's the thing. It's like you kind of have to make sure that you continue to do it that way and you just pay attention to, like I said, the matchups. Don't pay attention to the percentages or, like, their predictions and everything like that. So let's see which one I wanted to do. I guess, like, right now we've been just kind of chilling and doing a really good job of, like, talking about whatever because I appreciate you guys being here, James and Haley. Definitely, we're getting close to an hour, so I was thinking about maybe winding it down here in a second just to kind of finish this one up because what I wanted to really do was kind of break down each division, and I think what I'll do next time when I get on either tomorrow or Sunday, I will get on and, you know, give my recap of, like, obviously the Falcons playing because I'm going to watch it here in a little bit because their game is actually in an hour that I'm talking right now. And I'll probably talk about that. But then I'll also give you my breakdowns of each individual division because I feel like if I get into one of the divisions, I would rather just have it on another day where I can maybe break down a whole like I can break down the whole division. I can break down each individual team and kind of talk about that. And then if you need fantasy advice, like who from this team is a good fantasy player, you know, we could always break that down too. So there's a lot of that I could talk about. There's a lot of more stuff that I could talk about throughout the day. I mean, I don't really want to talk baseball right now. I mean, other than the Trash Pandas and Caden Dana being like 16-plus scoreless innings, and the dude has just been an absolute dealer, and I feel like that he should eventually be a Los Angeles Angel, I would think. But they have called up so many young guys these past 2 seasons. They just called up Jack Kohanowitz like a month ago or 2 months ago or something like that. And that dude was doing pretty well, but he wasn't doing as good as Caden Dana. So it was kind of like, why are you bringing him up? And they brought him up. He got beat up a little bit, then they brought him back down. So, you know, I think that some of these young guys are, I think it's just like you got to give it with a grain of salt. And then Caden Dana, don't get me wrong, he's throwing gems. I mean, he's absolutely throwing friggin' missiles and doing a great job striking out people and keeping it scoreless. Like Christian Moore on their team, too. The dude from Tennessee. Christian Moore, oh, my God. I was there Wednesday night, dog night, Lady Bird and I, watching the game, sitting in the dog area. Christian Moore with a 2-run shot, walk-off in the 9th, wins the game for him. This guy's batting like .416. He's got 2 home runs. He's got 2 home runs. I forgot how many RBIs he's got. He hit 2 home runs in that game. He went 3 for 5, I think, in the last game. So, like, he's doing really well. Talk about how great the Phillies are doing. Well, they're doing really well, and I hate you. I'm just kidding. That's me as a Braves fan. Stop it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Y'all playing the Diamondbacks. Beat the Diamondbacks. I don't care if y'all are winning. Just beat the Diamondbacks. Because the Braves have lost 5 straight. Because, by the way, now you're getting me off course a little bit. I didn't want to talk about this, okay? The Braves have lost 5 straight, 3 times this season. That's the most that they've lost is one of those times was 6 times. I think it was like a fly or something on me. So they've had 3 times they have lost 2 times 5 games in a row, 1 time 6 games in a row. You can't lose to the Nationals. You know what I mean? Those types of teams. You can't lose to the teams that you're going to beat. You can't lose to the Mets. A lot of the people in your division that you beat up on every single year, or at least it's a game and you beat them, because of all the years of Timmy Trumpets and all that stuff about how the Braves won the World Series in 2021, and this great team is young, and there's going to be a lot of success, and but all these injuries, all these damn injuries. I mean, Sean Murphy, Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Spencer Strider. That hurts the Braves. But to be able to say that right before the All-Star break, they were 10 games over 500. They were like 5 games above the wild card. And then now, after we get back from the second half, the Atlanta Braves just want to crap the bed. And the pitching's gone to shit. And nobody can hit. And all this type of stuff. While Kyle Schwarber over here is just hitting bombs. Jerry Realmuto is hitting bombs. You know what I mean? Bryce Harper sucks. You know what I mean? But, because I hate Bryce Harper. I don't even think I'd ever be a fan of him if he became a Brave. I really don't think so. And I think, if he did, he would retire. He would, because, I feel like he's never going to win a World Series, and I'm sorry, James Buchanan. He left the Nationals, and he should have stayed there, and they probably still would have won it anyway. But to go to Philly and to, basically take the same amount of money, I guess he took less amount of money, but longer years, I think that was stupid. I think that was absolutely, he's from Nashville. You know what I mean? Pretty sure he's from Nashville, or is he from Las Vegas? Is he from Las Vegas? I'm getting someone else mixed up with him. Hold on. Is he from Las Vegas? Isn't he from Las Vegas? Let me look this up real quick. Okay, yeah, he was born in Las Vegas. Where did he live? Yeah, he attended Las Vegas High School in Las Vegas. So, I'm getting somebody else mixed up with Nashville. So, he's from Las Vegas. He's not a Phillies fan. Come on, get out of here. That's about as fake as Dansby Swanson saying that he went to Chicago because of his grandfather. Now, don't get me wrong. I probably would do the same thing for my grandfather. I'd go play for the Braves, or I'd go play for whatever team that he asked me to. But don't sit here and give the fan base a runaround and act like you don't want to be here anymore, or that we aren't going to try enough to keep you here, and then say, well, I'm going to go because of this. I think he went because he's already proved himself. Honestly thought he was going to get kicked off the team or traded or whatever. Yeah, I know that. But also, I didn't think that they would keep Arcia. Because Orlando Arcia, that's the thing. I watched Orlando Arcia as a minor leaguer for the Huntsville Stars / Biloxi Shuckers. He couldn't hit the ball to save his life, and he still has tendencies of not being able to hit the ball. Last year was really better. Well, really better. Was much better because I feel like he was just feeling himself. He's going to be great defensively. It's like Andrelton Simmons of the past. It's like Rafael Furcal. You know what I mean? It's like anybody else that I could hit up at shortstop for the Braves. They are a really good defensive player, but when it comes to power, when it comes to quality on hitting the ball, there's a problem. You know what I mean? Shoot, Austin Riley was out for 15 days, and they didn't report that. And Austin Riley didn't even play for 15 days in the beginning of the season. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the MLB world, but I still think that if you go look, I don't really think that we need to buy in so much to a lot of the teams that are playing really well and getting into that wild card spot, especially in the NL, because, nobody would have said anything about the Diamondbacks last year or the Phillies making the run they did or anything or the year before they did, anything like that. Right now you've got New York, the Diamondbacks and San Diego sitting in front of the Braves for the wild card. And the Braves had that wild card spot and the first place spot for forever. And now you've got a team that has beaten the crap out of them at home, the Padres, and they play up and down. They're 2.5 games now. The Diamondbacks are 1.5. That's the reason why the Phillies need to beat the Diamondbacks. And it's the Mets. The Mets played some of the best baseball in the month of July. But you are 6 games over 500 at 60-54 and half a game behind your rival. All you have to do is beat that rival. You're still a half a game up on St. Louis. Stop losing to St. Louis. I think they've already played them both times, away and at home. Now it's beat the Mets at the end of the year. Beat the Phillies when you're not supposed to. Beat the shit out of the Nationals and the Marlins, who are at the bottom of the NL, right there with the Rockies, who, guess what? You are playing the Rockies tonight. Do not lose to the Rockies. It's like the White Sox going to the Yankees and sweeping them. You know what I mean? Or the Marlins going to, let's say, I don't know, the Padres and sweeping them. You know what I mean? It's just insane. There's no reason for it. These teams suck. Beat the crap out of them and do your job. Because if you go look at this roster, I mean, you go look at this right now. Right now, I was pretty spot on, except for my Braves pick. Brewers are sitting on top of the Central because it's ass. It's either the Phillies or the Braves because the Mets are 8 games. I don't think they're going to win. But it's Phillies or the Braves for me. It was always Phillies or Braves. The Dodgers are sitting on top of the West because the West is dog shit. The Padres play up and down, and they can't figure out what kind of team they are. They got all this great talent. They got all this great pitching. Still can't find it out and getting beat by the Diamondbacks, who just happy to be here. They won like 100-something games and looked like a bunch of bitches in 2021. So you got the Astros on top of the other West with the Mariners. The Angels can't seem to get it right. Mike Trout's out again, which Mike Trout, man, go retire or just like go to a team where like you're just like the DH. Like you don't need to play really much hard. You don't need to play hard anymore. Like you need to hurt yourself for this team or any team. It's like Pujols. As soon as Trout got that money, the game went downhill. I mean, Pujols did the same thing. He got money, and it just went straight downhill from there. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. I mean, even if he is a fan or if he's not a fan or whatever, you know, like, that's fine. Oh, damn, look at that. We're over here, like, doing crazy things. So, Guardians, I thought it was going to be the Guardians for the Central, because like I said, the Central's both Centrals are dog shit. Yeah, the Brewers swept the Braves and beat the bejesus out of them in that 3-game sweep. But, hear me out, the Central is so bad that the Cardinals are always winning every single year. And now you got this Brewers team, new manager. You got this great team that they've done really well. Willy Adames is playing well. William Contreras, which I hate watching. I hate watching William Contreras dominate the Braves when the Braves traded William Contreras for Sean Murphy. And Sean Murphy cannot stay healthy. Sean Murphy can't hit. He's just not been that great offensive player that you bought him for or you traded him for. Because Travis d'Arnaud, when Travis d'Arnaud is being the better offensive catcher, that's a problem. I mean, because, I love d'Arnaud, and he's done a lot of great things for the Braves. He's come up in the clutch. But you got to figure it out. You just got to figure it out. And with Trout, that's the thing about Trout. That dude, I swear, Trout, like, I love him to death. But like I said, he got paid, and it just kind of went downhill from there. So, I either said it was going to be the Orioles because of how well they played last year. They were really good last year. They just couldn't figure it out. Like, they were young and everything like that. And, like, now they're freaking 20 games over 500. They're tied with the Yankees. They have one of the best records in baseball behind the Phillies. You know, that AL East, the Yankees and the Orioles are going to be a problem for sure, especially the Orioles with their pitching. They got really young bats. The Guardians, I feel like they're going to probably get put out in the playoffs. Astros, They'll probably make a run, probably get beat by the Orioles or something like that. When I look at the NL, the Phillies may make the playoffs at the end of the year. The Braves could still make the playoffs. They're only half a game behind the Mets. Like I said, they just have to beat those types of guys. The Brewers, I said they were going to win and make the playoffs because I don't ever trust the Cubs. The Pirates were literally 3-0 at the start of the season. The Reds did the same thing. They were on top of the Central, I think, a couple of years ago. So there's a lot of times where I'm just like, yeah, the Brewers are going to win it. The Guardians are going to win it, or the Twins are going to win it, because the Central is so easy to pick. The Central is so easy to pick. What up, Steel? Welcome to the group. I have been both an O's and a Guardians game this year. I would love to go to a Guardians game. Really, I want to go to an O's game. I want to go to an O's game so bad. O's game, I would love to see the Orioles play. I just want to go to Camden Yard. I think it's one of the coolest stadiums ever. We got done bashing your Patriots earlier, Steele. We were bashing your Patriots a little bit. We were gonna do the podcast solely on like whatever was going on, but then it turned into like an Olympics talk, fantasy football talk. We were gonna break down each division and everything like that and give my predictions and stuff like that. But I think I'm gonna wait until this weekend and do one of those and start off with the who are we gonna start off with? Let's see. Who do we want to start off with? Let's start with the NFC. Let's start with the NFC. And let's start with the West. We're going to start with the West, and then we're going to go to the AFC West, and it's going to be kind of like a thing. I'm going to pick one from the NFC, then I'll pick the next one from the AFC, and we'll break down those 8 teams and make that like a whole thing. Going to be a long season. Pitt is the best stadium. The Orioles close second. Pittsburgh? Oh, I'd love to go to Pittsburgh too. That's awesome. Yeah. No, yeah, Pittsburgh, I would love to see that stadium too. I would not want to get in the water, or the water's pretty gross. Yeah, I don't like lake water anyway. I don't understand. I get it. People love to be on boats and pontoons and everything like that. But y'all know there's some gross ass things in the lake, right? They're like these little sucker fish that get onto you, leeches. There's underwater caves you don't know about. Possibly alligators. Garfish. Those are the worst. I feel safer swimming in the ocean at a reasonable distance than I do the lake. Because I know that I shouldn't go out too far in the ocean. There's undertow, all that other stuff. You might run into an animal, whatever. But at least I can see the bottom of the water. Or at least I can see an area of the water. It's not like lake water where like 2 feet in front of you it's murky and you can't see no damn thing. We ain't got a lot of that up here, up north here. No worry about gators or all that jazz. We'll go to the south. Snakes, water moccasins, little leeches. Those little sucker, like little sucker fish that have like the little teeth. They look like leeches, but they're like the little like, you know what I mean? They got those little teeth and they like grind the crap out of you, like they eat the crap out of you. Yeah, screw that. I'm good. Nah, hell no. Hell no. But yeah, I'd love to go to a Pittsburgh game. I'd love to go to a O's game. I've been to Busch Stadium, Busch Field, whatever it's called, Busch Stadium. I've been to St. Louis. I've been to Wrigley. I've been to the Braves. I really do want to go to Tropicana because, like, that would be, like, one game you want to see because if they ever get rid of that team, like, who knows what they're going to use that stadium for? Will they destroy it? Will they get another baseball team eventually? And I never want to see the Rays leave because ever since they changed their name to the Rays, like a Sun Ray, I think it's the dumbest crap ever. And I'd rather have that. Like, I'd rather have the Devil Rays like they used to be. Citizens Bank Park. Yeah. I heard, like, Phillies games, though, are, like, they're not as, like, how, like, everyone always says that, like, because people crap on the Battery because it's a lot of expensive businesses and, like, they have the fake flag. Like, they call it, like, the fake flags everywhere. and they try to make it look like a downtown area because the thing about the Braves is they moved their stadium to Marietta because that's where baseball is king. And that's where the majority of your fan base is. And they have made a beautiful venue where there's shops and there's restaurants and there's other types of stores that you can go into. And there's all these things that go on. You can live there. There's a movie theater. There's all these types of things that you can do because they're trying to make it more of a year-round type of thing. You go to a pregame of a Braves game, people get wild, man. It's like being in a big city, even though it is a big city. You're in Atlanta. When you were in downtown Atlanta, it was hard to park. It was dangerous as fuck. Nobody wanted to go to the games because it was in downtown Atlanta. Right now, they don't even want to go to the games at the Battery because of how much they suck. But they're like that. They're fair weather fans. Braves. I'm a Braves fan. Some of y'all are fair weather fans. You'll be back again. All those people that were there in 2021, that's like Alabama fans now. How many of these Alabama fans are going to start coming now that Nick Saban's gone? The moment that Kalen DeBoer starts losing games, good luck to that fan base. Been a bunch of clowns, bro. Bunch of damn clowns. But when I saw something, someone told me about Philly. Like, Philly is not fun to go to a game. Well, that's what I heard. From what I heard. There's not like a real sports aspect going into the game, I think. But I've never been there. So I don't know. I mean, I find parallel parking hard in general, too. I watched this one dude yesterday. I parked my car, and he went to go park, like, behind my car. And so I was just watching him, and he was like, he pulled in, and it was like, dude, you're not gonna make that. And he hit the curb, and, like, he just, like, went up on it, you know? And then he just fixed himself, you know? But there was nothing else there. And we're not in a big city, you know what I mean? Like, parallel parking here is wide as fuck. Like, it's not parallel parking like in a small city at all. Like, there's plenty of room. There's a gap for, you know, your big truck with your big truck bed and everything like that with your 14-inch tires or 27-inch, whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we kind of have around here. Like, there is parallel parking, but there's not parallel parking. I still can't get over this friggin' breakdancer. Everyone tailgating. It's like, yeah, like, so Braves do that kind of thing too. They have areas that I have been to where they do, but I think now that it's more the Battery, like, you'd have to go to, like, the parking areas, and that's where they're going to have it at. Because, like, the Falcons games will have, like, their own areas that in front of the stadium where they actually have, like, a huge, I think it's like a huge turf field, and you can, like, they set up all these tents, and you tailgate and all this other stuff. And when it used to be at the Georgia Dome, and you could walk around the city in that area on the left side of the stadium instead of the right side of the stadium, when you used to be able to go, like, down Peachtree and stuff, like, you could find people, like, getting wild and buck wild in parking lots and doing all that stuff. Like, it is like a real legit game. Like, people might want to crap on Atlanta sports, but I'm gonna tell you right now, they party. They got food, they got drugs, they got booze. Like, you walk down one street corner and it smells like straight marijuana. You know what I mean? Like, they're having a good ass time. But Atlanta, yes, it's not a really cute sports town. I do love the Battery, though. If you haven't been to the Battery reminds me of being in St. Louis because St. Louis has a Battery-type area around Busch Field. And it's fun. It's kind of funny because, like, in Atlanta, it's in Marietta, so it's like a nice neighborhood. In St. Louis, it's in literally downtown St. Louis. You are literally half a mile from the Arch. And you are in downtown St. Louis, and the only thing that's good are the two hotels that are there, the stadium, and then the little things that are around the stadium that they're trying to build. And there's only, like, really one area around that little Battery area that they have that is legit. So, I mean, to me, that's what's fun. I haven't been to an Atlanta game. Got to make the trip. Wife and I did Chicago stadiums this summer. I did drive by the White Sox. Was at Kaminsky Park. I did drive by Kaminsky, but or wait, is that Detroit? What is the White Sox stadium called? I'm looking that up. I feel like Kaminsky, I think, is The Tigers. Guaranteed Rate Field. That's what it's called. Okay. Yeah, Kaminsky Park is Detroit. Guaranteed Rate Field. It's kind of cool when you drive by there because you have all those, like, you have those trains, like the huge train station and everything like that, and you see all the tracks, and then you, like, go over the tracks, and then boom, there's this big-ass, beautiful stadium, you know? But I like Wrigley. The bleacher seating, Murphy's bleacher seating, if you can go do that instead of, like, going into the stadium. I didn't get to go into the stadium. I got to just see Wrigley. So that was, like, one not fun thing because I didn't get to see the Ivy and all the other stuff, but it was definitely cool to be a part of the bleacher seating because it was like food and drink for free till like the 7th inning. So we just got lit. Kaminsky Park is old White Sox Stadium. Okay, that's the old one. Okay, not the new one. I went by the old one then. Because when did it change? Did it change? Did they ever like destroy it and it changed or something? I can't remember. I thought Kaminsky was Detroit, but I could have been wrong. That's my fault. At least I know Wrigley. I think when we went, then if that's true, then I think we went when it was Kaminsky. So I have to go back and look. But I know we drove by it. They're redoing the White Sox Stadium next year, I think. Oh, okay. Yeah. That was 1990. Jesus. Yeah, well then, Guaranteed Rate Field or whatever it was called in 2010. But I thought it was cool. I thought it's like one of those stadiums that like I've driven by and was like, I gotta see that one day. Because I went to St. Louis. I drove through St. Louis and saw when I was going to Colorado one year, and I saw the dome that they have for St. Louis games when they were the Rams. But then when they moved to LA, you know, obviously like it's vacant and they just use it for the Battlehawks games for the XFL. Which they have like one of the best fan bases in my opinion. I mean, like they're probably one of the best ones that you could have around. But yeah, I think I'm going to kind of wind it down right now. I was going to go check out a high school football game because we're going to do, we're going to go kind of try to do some freelance, maybe writing, or maybe we'll do some stuff where we can help out with some of these local teams around in my area. It's my alma mater. They're playing like a scrimmage for the officials to try to get the officials right for the season. And yeah, they never should have left. And so I'm going to go try to maybe check out that for a little bit because I've got to do something later tonight. But I've also not been feeling good. So if you guys are not feeling good too, by the way, if you've got the COVID like Noah Lyles, please don't go around giving it to people. Or at least wear a mask and stay away from people if you're not feeling good. You know what I mean? Or if you got a bug, take some Pepto-Bismol, you know, like Steele says. Because, like, yeah, I've been, like, in this heat. If you've been dealing with this heat, man, I don't understand how these players get through all this heat. It's been so miserable. Like, I took Lady Bird to the game on Wednesday. I didn't show up till, like, 7 o'clock because, like, it was so hot outside. And we went there, and as soon as it got dark, got a little windy. Actually, this weekend, I think it's supposed to be, like, in the mid-60s. Like, the high is supposed to be, like, 70, I think. Someone was telling me yesterday, they were like, I think it's supposed to be 50. I was like, that is insane. If it starts getting 50 right now in August, God. Because I don't want it. Because the thing is last year, it still stayed hot in September. Like, Halloween was hot. You know what I mean? Like, it was a hot day. But I'm okay with hot. I don't like cold. So, but staying out in the heat, like, yeah, doing things, working, having to do manual labor or just working where it's hot, yeah, screw that. It's just too damn hot. So, I mean, but any day I'll go support the Trash Pandas because I'm watching them right now. I think they're great. I still have a credential for the rest of the year. I'm going to go to some games. I may go Sunday. I'm probably may end up going to the Huntsville City FC game tomorrow because it only costs like $10 to get in. But like that's what really sets you up for a lot of these podcasts. Like, and if you're not Like, we're going to start doing these. We're going to start affiliating this with these podcasts because these are great opportunities for me to have individual type podcasts that can be affiliated with a lot of these podcasts that I'm trying to do. So the Ala Falcons, it won't necessarily be all Alabama because there will be some Auburn. But the reason why I said Ala Falcons is because at least it's Alabama, like the state of Alabama and the Falcons. But it's also going to be mostly, it's going to be an NFL podcast. The Bama Chop, that's going to be like basically. I mean, I'm from Alabama. I'm a Braves fan. It's going to be a baseball, Braves, maybe some Alabama baseball when we get closer to that time. It's going to be one of those types of podcasts. So I think I'm going to be really excited to do that and promote that as well. The Yell at the Moon football podcast will mostly just be talking about MLS Next Pro team at HCFC. We'll talk about Nashville SC. We'll just do those types of things and they'll probably just be, what I'll do is I'll probably do the same type of thing what I'm doing here, but those logos will be like flashing up while I'm talking, kind of like the TCSP logo is up there. And I'm doing a little bit better with graphics. I'm learning Canva and Adobe, and I'm trying to create all these types of things to kind of give you a better stream and give you a better, everything that you're watching. Make it in more quality. I wish my camera would stop going in and out with the resolution, but it's also like really bright in front of me. You can see that on my little doggy person that someone gave me. This was a present, but it's just so sunny outside. And there's my manatee. I think I stole that from my sister. I think that was hers. With his Atlanta Falcons hat on. But anyway. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I appreciate everybody being here. I think I went a little long. This is probably the longest the Total Chat Sports Podcast has ever been. But we did it live, and it'll be on YouTube. It's on YouTube right now. If you're not watching on Facebook, if you're not watching on Twitch, it is on YouTube right now. And if I wasn't talking to anybody on YouTube, I apologize. You might want to be over on Twitch. I didn't even have the chat up, so like if anybody was chatting, I apologize. I just wasn't paying attention to it. I was getting a little bit more into it. I was mostly using the YouTube for so I have it archived. Maybe you're talking on myself. Oh, see, like Warcos, start twerking. I said start twerking. Spooky Musk. What do you think about JJ McCarthy hype? See, like this guy. And you were talking on... Why didn't you tell me you were talking on YouTube? I didn't have YouTube up. What are you doing? And the chat's not even... Like, the chat's being weird in Twitch. It's just giving me this circle. So I didn't see anybody on YouTube. So let's go back for one quick before we finish. What do you think about the JJ McCarthy hype? I think that JJ McCarthy... I didn't think he was a great quarterback last year in college. I think he can be better as an NFL player. I think he's athletic. I think he's got a great arm. I just want to see what he can do because it's the Vikings. Because I feel like you're just going to get maybe another Kirk Cousins situation, like a worser Kirk Cousins, not a worser or worstest Kirk Cousins. Because I think he might be. He's young, obviously, but I think you're getting the same player. You know what I mean? Like Sam Darnold is crap, but JJ McCarthy's young, got an arm, you got better players around him. It's not Michigan, having all that scrutiny because your coach is cheating. I mean, Michigan didn't cheat; they did. They should have their title taken away. They should get suspended from postseason play for 2 years. But the NCAA is a bunch of chicken shit people that won't pull the trigger and do the types of things that they need to do to enforce their will and authority. I get it. Everyone's always talking about, they did all this stuff for all these college kids for so long, and they were making money, and they weren't paying these kids, and blah, blah, blah. You were getting let's say a player gets $100,000 in medical. I think they get paid at Alabama before all this NIL stuff, or if it's still now, they still get paid $30,000 to be a football player. You get room and board. You get all the amenities. You get all these people that'll help you pass a class. I I don't want to hear these people talk about, like, how much better they have it now when they really didn't have it that bad before. Like, yeah, they couldn't make money or they couldn't, like, whatever. Sure, go make money on your worth. But what is your worth? I'm still trying to figure that out. I'll fight that all day. What is your worth in NIL? Like, you're going to go play a player all this money for what? He hadn't even played a snap yet. What if he doesn't get drafted? What if he tears his ACL and he never plays again? Like, get out of here. There's always the what if. You're going to have all these stupid companies that are, like, getting these players on board for, like, Cash App or whatever because it's all TikTok related. Or, like, that's the thing, too, that I hate is the TikTok in college sports, especially college football. Like, pay attention to the game. I mean, I get it, be a kid and all that kind of stuff. But my God, that is so annoying sitting there watching these stupid TikTok videos or these stupid TikTok trends. And everyone's like, oh, look who it is. It was a couple of Alabama Auburn players. Like, who cares? It's not what they're there. They're not there to do TikTok videos. They're there to get an education and play football and make $915 million that Alabama made? Or is worth? $915 million. Almost $1 billion. Crazy. Just crazy times we live in. But that's the world of college football in the United States. It's like, well, it's not, because Premier League teams are like getting bankrupt and can't play their players half the time, or like the top 3 teams win every single year, which is college football. Like the top 5 teams win every single year. Like the ones that are always around, like the Falcons, like Alabama, like Ohio State, like Michigan's of last year, because they've still been there. Texas, Washington, maybe you could say Oregon. There's really realistically, I didn't even say Georgia, but like realistically, there's like those three teams: Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, every single year. Texas is getting the recognition that they're supposed to and everything like that. So, Warcuz, I'm not gonna twerk for you. I'll twerk for you next time when I'm doing streams and I'm playing video games. And but I'm not gonna do that. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna wind it down, like I said earlier, because we kind of pushed over time. I'm going to give you one, since Steele wasn't here, I'm going to give you one more time to watch this crazy rendition of what apparently breakdancing is, and apparently it's a sport in the Olympics. I think that's absolutely stupid. Look at her go. I mean, look at her go. That is a athlete right there. That looks like, I said, a child having a tantrum. So anyway, I greatly appreciate everybody being here. Steele, James Buchanan, Warcos, who else was here? Haley, Spooky Musk, all you fans and all you wonderful people, friends that I like to call friends. I appreciate you listening in. Family that's listening in or watching constantly. We may get on some streams later tonight. We may stream a video game. Might play some Sea of Thieves if Steele might be doing something, but I just wanted to have this little time to talk about this and break all this down. And where they're going to do it, well, let's say, because I don't have to work this weekend. So let's say if maybe like Saturday, maybe tomorrow, or Sunday, we'll try to do a breakdown of both of the Wests, NFC and AFC. I'll have a graphic up. I'll try to change out anything that I have on there to break down everything. When I get to the Falcons, I already have their schedule all typed out and everything, and set up as a graphic, so I'm going to break that down as 2 individually, and just talk about what's going on, because I am getting ready here in about 20 minutes now that I'm talking right now. It'll be late and it'll be over by then, but the Falcons play the Miami Dolphins, and just want to see what it's going to look like for the next season, because these preseason games are boring as hell. They're really just there for like these extra guys to make teams. Yes, we are. We did talk to Haley earlier about that. And I will do fantasy draft on each individual team too that we talk about, so that'll keep some extra time on that as well. Because I know Haley was asking, she's doing 2 teams. We're gonna do a couple of them. I've got a Discord group, we do one. I've got some buddies in high school, we do one, and then I've got one that is with my cousin and I, and he's got a bunch of friends from where he lives that we play. So But I'm out of here. Thank you again. Make sure you go follow Total Chad Sports Podcast. Hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it. Post it, retweet it, all that type of stuff. Help me out on promoting it a lot as well. And just if you want to leave a comment on the YouTube channel, you want to leave a exclamation point Discord. I don't even think I have that. And Mix It Up's not on. I don't have that command, to be honest with you. So we'll fix that. We'll get the exclamation point Discord fixed. But mostly just, if you want to be a part of the show, you want to talk or anything like that, we'll try to go more live and try to do more of a live rendition. And then you can ask me questions, and then that'll be a lot easier. And then we can kind of flow with the show rather than maybe I take some questions that you, and I can do that too. I will take some questions if you leave it on social media, anything like that you would like to talk about next time. I'll definitely do that. So once again, thank you so much for everybody listening and watching and just giving me the opportunity to have this platform, and I'll continue to do well. And as long as you're here, and I, like I said, I appreciate everybody that's always giving me a chance and constantly supporting the stream. I hope you guys have a wonderful, guys and gals, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we'll see you in the next couple hours, next 24 hours or 48 hours. And right here, you're listening to and watching the Total Chad Sports Podcast with Chad Guathny. Like I said, go follow the socials, do all that kind of stuff, and enjoy some football tonight. There's baseball on tonight. There's football on tonight. You got some Olympics recaps and everything like that you could watch, or just go watch The Boys. I've been finishing up season 4, and I've been watching finishing up Fallout because getting ready for season 2. So we could talk about that too. We don't have to talk about sports. We can talk about pop culture. But thanks again listening to the Total Chad Sports Podcast. See you guys.
I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, he's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out. And
He's steaming mad.
he is out.
Swung, fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship.
Auburn going after it. Here's a good snap. It is blocked. It is blocked. It's caught on the run. It's caught on the run. He's going to score. David Wagner has scored. And Auburn is tied the game.
It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! Van Tiffin has won the ball game. Alabama has beaten Auburn.
I'd like for the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been done